So we're here. This is episode, what, 43?
43.
Oh, yeah, so nice. My wife is sitting close to me. She doesn't hate me. Awesome. Peak. We love that. But we're doing a little bit of a little homey episode tonight, you know? Just hanging out with the friends. I don't know. I don't have good lead-ups right now. I'm very exhausted and ate hot Cheetos before this. So we got Papa. And how do you pronounce your new username? Rika?
Rekka Ruya.
Gotcha. Rekka. Okay. I'll say I'm gonna butcher that. But look at these two goobers.
Either works.
That's fair. That'll be easier for me to remember. I'm seeing your guys' like stances on how you're sitting from this camera angle, and yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Well, you guys were both crossed too the exact same way, so I was like,
tee. But listen, for you guys, I want you to know that I found 2 stories this morning, right? I found one like 20 minutes ago, and I was like, if we can get Papa on here tonight, this will be a great episode.
Oh.
So I will save the fun one for last. But that means one of the original 2 that I picked gets zixed. And one comes from r/relationships and then was sub-posted onto Am I the Devil, and the other one is Best of Redditor Updates. So out of those 2, which one would you like to hear more?
Probably am I the devil, honestly. I'm curious to see what heinous shit this person has done.
fair, agree.
Okay, bet. So then we know how Am I the Devil works. It's you did something so bad that everybody else took your shit and said, you're awful. Alright, so we're gonna do this. So this originally came on r/relationship advice. And if you want to know how early this is and how quick it was sub-posted, this was posted a day ago.
Oh boy.
Oh jeez.
And it was that quickly sub-posted onto Am I the Devil.
Oh my gosh. Is this the whole story, or is like there gonna be updates down the road?
There are no updates to this.
Breaking news, about 5 minutes ago, there was an update.
I will look at the account, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. But it's I, 24 male, am seeing a girl, 21 female, who just had a body-altering surgical intervention, and I'm feeling like a piece of shit. As per title, I have been getting close to this girl I met with in uni. Over the past months, I've worked with her on an assignment, and then a few weeks ago, I gathered the courage to ask her out. She said yes, but told me that she had to undergo surgery the very next day. Something she actually told me about a few times before, but being like weirdly elusive and mysterious about it, even though she was the one who started talking about it. Now the piece of shit part. She's a nice girl, nothing out of the ordinary, just as I am. Pretty and decently funny. I wasn't in love or anything, but definitely interested in knowing her better. I already feel bad about it, so I'm gonna be honest. She also had huge tits. Not the greatest body, short in height, a bit wide, and in quotations he put blocky. But good God, the titties. I'd lie if I say that particular quality of hers wasn't very attractive to me. Then yesterday we went out together, we had a good time, but it turns out the surgery was a breast reduction. I've been with girls that I've tried hard to like in the past, and obviously worked out horribly. I've seen the results of breast reduction, and frankly, they disgust me. They all look botched, huge scars, unnatural shapes. I don't know if I can feel any kind of arousal around those things. Who knows if I look at hers any different? I feel like a proper piece of shit. How can I approach such a situation? Dump her immediately when she is quite probably worried about her physical appearance? Wait until things get more intimate and then have an even more horrible result? I don't want to hurt her feelings in the way. TLDR, I've been getting closer to a girl. She had a breast reduction, and now I don't know if I can like her body anymore. Feeling bad about it, and I don't want to play with people's feelings.
Oh my god.
Okay, so I mean, in the end of the day, if she has to get it because she's having body issues, like back issues and shit, because they're just that big, that I really don't think there's much you can do about that. If it was just for aesthetic reasons, then yeah.
Even
But I
if
can-
it is
I'll
just
have to see
aesthetic
this.
reasons, but like
Yeah.
he's just mad about the scars, basically, from
Yeah.
the sounds of it.
Like if
And,
that's
like,
the
if you're upset
determining
about that,
factor.
like, what happens like if you ever got married and you're like you want to have kids and then they get a C-section, they get a scar? Are you gonna suddenly be like, well, now I'm out because they got a scar?
I'm gonna go get the milk. Like,
Yeah,
what?
no, it's wrong.
Well, it's like he's basing
Based
his
on what he said.
entire his personality's boobs.
Yeah.
Here, hold on.
How
Let
old
me-
did it
let
say they
me-
were again?
24 and
Sounds like they're
21.
even- Okay. That
They're
they're old enough to be a little bit knowing better.
Let me ask the man, baby. If I had ginormous bahungalagungas, right, and I got a breast reduction surgery, would you take the ring back and dump me? No. Okay. Wait. Probably not. What does that mean? Keyword answer was no. He said don't look into it because he knows they'll look into it anyways. But like, it's a normal thing though. Like having a breast reduction. Like my mom, in order to have me, she had to get her boobs reduced.
Well, it's
See, I think
like,
this
like,
guy has
and you
the
don't know-
stigma. He has
You don't
past
know if there's like
experiences based on how he
family
said it.
stuff too.
oh yeah, he
You
does
don't
have
know
the
that
past experiences.
Well, at the end of the day, if it's not for him, it's not for him, and he can make that decision. But like, it's just he's gonna get hurt down the road because he's gonna realize that everyone's gonna get scars and shit when you get older.
Well, and it's like, like you're allowed to have preferences. No hate to that, like everybody has their preference and what they like to see in a partner. And obviously, like I know people say it's shallow, but if you don't find them physically attractive, you're not going to find them emotionally attractive. There has to be a bit of both, because I think it's dumb if you think like, I don't care about looks. You do, and it's not wrong to feel that way. People have preferences.
Denial is a river in Egypt.
Your husband is gay. But like, I think it's different when like you have a preference, but this is coming from a shallow part of, oh, well, now they just look weird. My guy, boobs are boobs. You should feel happy to see
Boobs are
them.
boobs.
I
Boobs
don't
are
think they
boobs.
can be shaped wrong. They're sisters, not twins.
And adding to that, he said this as in like he doesn't even know how he'll feel about hers. He hasn't even seen it. He talked about how like all of them on his perspective look blocky and botched and like not well done. It's like he
Which
doesn't
is
even
weird
know.
for reductions.
Yeah.
I think
don't
he's
know what
talking
experiences
that
he's
when they're
seen.
getting them.
I
Then they're like
thi- I
harder and
think
stuff with the new filling. But
I think he's talking about like her body type.
That's
Not
what
her
that's,
boobs.
yeah, he was referring to the blockiness of her body type in general, and that's already another problem. And it's like, you're saying that you like her personality and that she's cute face-wise, but in the post say that her body is a bit wide and blocky, and that you are mainly attracted to her for her tits, and she doesn't want them that size anymore and is getting rid of them, and now you're like, oh, what do I do? Like, yeah, I will agree that doesn't really seem to be an easy route out, because clearly Mans wants an escape route. And
I mean, he did
both
say
routes
that
are
he wasn't
awful.
in love. He just wanted to get to know her better.
You ain't gonna get to
So
know anyone
Bernard,
if you
like,
can't see
dipped
past
his
the
toe.
titties.
Brother dipped his toe, and then it's like, man, how the fuck do I get out of this situation?
Oh yeah, dude, the comments ate him the fuck alive. Let me.
Sounds about right.
So the first comment just says, "Wow, dude, you suck." Second one says, "Wow, you should feel like a piece of shit. She's had the surgery to feel more comfortable in her body to reduce pain, and all you can think of is how you still want to fuck her. If I could tell her to dump you, I would. Get out of that poor woman's life. Everyone else is saying you're gross. Do better. If you're only there for her tits, please do her a favor and break up so she can find someone who can value her more as an actual person." And it's just like the comments, everybody, dude, you're actually awful. You're a monster. Leave her alone. You feel like a piece of shit because you are one. It's deserved. Other people sharing their experiences of their breast reductions, and they were never for like cosmetic purposes. It was typically because of severe pain and discomfort. And also, let's be real, t-shirts are so much harder because nothing will fit properly.
Yeah, I got the opposite problem. I got tiny tits. But no, like, it could be medical stuff too. You don't know if her family has like breast cancer or any sort of things. Like, it's hard to test for that when your boobs are too big.
And it's like, this guy is so worried about the boobs looking good too that he's just neglecting everything. But also, you were a piece of shit prior because even before you were like, yo, I'm really a boob guy. You called her body blocky. I don't think you were gonna like to see her naked even if she let you.
That's fair.
Like, I make fun of myself and I call myself, a 2x4 or a thunderboard. If he calls me that, I'm putting a sweater on. Like, so I had to, give you guys a little morning dip into some of the chaos that was planned, but boobs are nice, and so is Squishy's story.
I mean, the topics are very similar when it comes to incels.
Oh, I was hoping you were gonna say boobs.
I mean, there is body shaming in this as well.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, yay.
But I think it's not to a woman.
Oh.
So this is a best of Redditor updates. This is, am I the asshole for being brutally honest with my friend about why women don't like him?
Oh my god. Someone's about to be humbled.
Oh. So the original post obviously was on Am I the Asshole, posted on Best of Redditor Updates. It was posted on June 18th of this year, so 10 days ago.
Beautiful.
Oh, they're both super news stories. Okay.
So, yes, this is a long post, but it's a long story. Hear me out. My friend, who I'll refer to as Nathan, 25 male, has had horrible luck with women for a very long time. He does have a bright future ahead of him, though, in regards to his career. He just graduated college last year and is currently in law school. However, he's been homeschooled his whole life and does all of his college courses and law school online, not in person, which leads me to this next point. He's never had a girlfriend, never been out on a successful date, is still a virgin, and low-key doesn't have many friends either, so his social skills are really underdeveloped. His only real socialization was with older people, parents, grandparents, fellow elder people, and me, met through family friends. So he was kind of raised very sheltered and doesn't have anything in common with anyone his own age, let alone women his own age.
Oh god.
To top all that off, he's been nothing but super focused on school and being the best student he can be, so his grades were his number one priority during his developmental years, which there isn't anything wrong with that. However, he never took a break to live life or have any life experiences. Nathan has had multiple girls in his family introduced to him. Words.
You've got this.
No, I don't. Nathan has had multiple girls his family introduced him to start like dating
Ew.
starting in 2021 all the way till now, and they've been trying to get them to give him a chance, but they end up just not liking him. I really hate not to be on his side and support him through all the constant rejections from multiple girls, but it's gotten to the point where all these girls have the same complaints about him. Nathan's about 5'2", and body-wise very skinny / petite build. He is also starting to bald at 25.
I mean,
That's
that's
Oh,
more
no.
common than you'd think.
Law school would really do that to you. Let me tell you.
Well, there's a lot of guys that, like, when I was in college that was starting to bald, like, they just wear hats and grow beards. That's pretty common.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
The hat
He has no
fishing.
bodily strength whatsoever. He starts shaking just from holding a grocery bag. I hate to sound rude, but the truth is the truth. He's built like a little girl and he has a hairline of a father of 3. While I understand height can't be changed, not necessarily hair either, he can start at least working out and possibly add some weight / muscle to give him some manly appearance.
I'd say it sounds like he's
mentioned
degrading.
I mentioned him doing this with me in a general conversation with him. Whenever I go to the gym, I tell him to come and join me as a hobby, just to be my gym buddy. He declined numerous times, and the one time he did go, he struggled lifting a 10-pound weight. So he stopped going.
Plot twist, he's anorexic.
Whatever. The way Nathan dresses is very grandpa vibes. Tucks in his shirt, dress pants / slacks, and the dress shirts on an ordinary day, etc. I asked him why he doesn't dress more comfortable every day, like a jogging outfit, a hoodie, some jeans, sweats, and that he should wear some sneakers instead of Freddie Benson dress shoes every day. He doesn't think anything's wrong with how he dresses, and he wants to look more professional since he's going to be an upcoming lawyer one day. I explained to him lawyers dress in suits and ties, not tucked in button-up flannels, and they also don't dress like that every day either, just when they're on the job. Sadly, he wasn't having it. Then it finally hit me.
Welcome
It's his damn
Scottish _ Phoenix.
or the lack of it. See, I'm not trying to talk down on him, but if we're gonna be objective, if we're gonna go by objective reality, he has the personality of a brick. I've seen with my own 2 eyes how he talks to girls, how he acts on dates, etc. He can't make a conversation to save his life. He's not funny either. He has 0 charisma. He's a literal mute on all double dates and on one-on-one dates he's been on, and it's so painfully awkward to watch. It's not like the girls aren't trying either. I've managed to get him dates, however, they go nowhere due to his sheer lack of confidence and personality or interest. When he talks to a woman, it's like he knows how to talk, it's like all he knows how to. You're not Englishing.
You're not reading.
Think about the boobs.
No, literally, this is the sentence. It's like all that he knows how. Oh wait, no, I'm just not reading. Never mind.
Called it.
Think about the boobs, Squishy. Focus. Lock in. There you go.
Locked in.
Okay.
It's like all he knows how to talk about is just school. And if it's not school, it's radio silence. Or some shit that only boomers would understand and care about. I've also noticed how every time him and I go out somewhere, I'm not sure if it's due to his size, he's scared and flinches away whenever people walk past us, and he's always afraid of doing anything or going anywhere fun or interesting that is too wild or dangerous for him, i.e. concerts, bars, amusement parks, etc. So I did it. He whined and whined. He kept being full of bitterness, complaints, and negativity, talking bad about women, saying that they never want a good man, and they only want players and good-looking tall guys. So I ended up telling him straight out the reason he doesn't get anywhere with girls is because he's a dork. I told him I don't care if he's a dork since I'm not the one dating
Straight
him,
for
but
blood.
the girls crave excitement, fun, or at least someone that can talk about anything or have fun experiences with, etc. I told him he refuses to change anything physically about him, and on top of all that, he won't won't even make himself at least interesting or fun to be around, and he's completely dull. That is why he can't pull or keep. He then got mad at me and accused me of picking on him and making fun of him, and that I'm holding his life circumstances against him. No public schooling, socialization, to which I told him I'm not. I wish I was just saying nonsense. I am telling him the truth, though. I explained to him that his lack of social skills and appearance isn't necessarily his fault. However, if someone's giving you advice on what's stopping you from getting where you want to be and how to change it, you should take the advice and quit complaining and just thinking everyone should accept you as who you are, because newsflash, we all have flaws. I told him that if he wants to get somewhere with a girl and not have constant competition, then he needs to have something to make up for it, because there are plenty of lawyers and future lawyers in the world, and simply saying I graduated college isn't going to make somebody have a connection or attraction to you. Told me I'm jealous that he's getting somewhere in his life academically, and that other girls are the problem for not seeing his worth and future success, and if that's not enough for them to be with him, then they're the ones not good enough for him. I've not talked to him since then, and I refuse to associate with someone who thinks I'm jealous of them for giving them constructive criticism to a problem they constantly complain about. My dad is saying I'm right, but also that it's probably an insecurity on his part, and I should apologize and not try to be hard on him. I feel like I shouldn't be friends with somebody who can't see what's wrong with them or accept their flaws without crying about it and blaming others, because that's just plain toxic to me. Am I the asshole?
So, let me
So
get
he
this
wants a
straight.
gold
The
digger?
homeschooled 5'2", barely
Pretty
100-pound kid that never goes out, went to college to become a lawyer, has no personality because of all that. Has insecurities?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've got a winner.
I think, like, the way they worded that to their friend was kind of an asshole way. Like, you could tell them, like, hey, you don't want to try to do the working out or doing whatever for your, like, physical appearance. You need to find a hobby or something that you are comfortable and like to do, whether or not, like, he doesn't like concerts or anything that seems dangerous. But what if he got super into movies or super into, like, cards or something else that he could relate to somebody with and have something that he has in common with someone? But it also sucks too, because, like, he is very innocent. In today's world, like, how old are these people? It's very hard to find innocent people when it comes to, like,
25 and
physically
sheltered.
innocent. It's hard to
Thing.
find that in the world. Like, my brother's 25 and he's completely innocent. He's never kissed a girl or anything. And it's hard to find, like, other people like that, because typically if you're like that, you don't want someone that has a giant body count and you've never even kissed somebody. So he's going to have to, like, it's going to be hard for him to find anyone anyways in that regard. So he needs to at least have hobbies or something he can try to connect with somebody on.
I think you have to be comfortable with yourself before you decide to go and seek out relationships or partnership. If you're not comfortable with yourself at all, it's just not going to work out. It's going to show.
Oh yeah,
You
I
can't
mean,
work
He
on
is
yourself
kind
if
of
you're just stuck in a rut.
comfortable. I think to an extent he is comfortable though. He wears what he likes. He, like, he's happy
He's
with,
confident
like, his
in himself, but he's thinking too highly of himself.
Like-
yeah, like it's kind of like a weird mixture. For
I will
him.
say,
But,
like, I'm trying to think. One, the family needs to stop setting him up on dates. That's already weird. Families
No,
shouldn't
that's
do
weird.
that. I hate
Homeschooling's
when.
weird. Why do people homeschool?
Well, it's
Weird.
like, so, like, I'm not homeschooled,
Well,
right?
some
I went
schools
to
are a
public
little
school,
crazy.
but I have a family member who would constantly try to set me up on dates. And listen, all right, I know family's gonna sit there and say, "Nah, nobody knows you like I do. I'm your whatever family member, so I know you better." No. Because my family member who would set me up on blind dates when I was a child, because she just wanted to see me get a boyfriend for some reason, would be like, "I know you better. So here's this guy from church. He watches anime like you do." And I was like, "That's it?" And she was like, "Yeah,
I mean,
and he goes to
it is
church."
Something.
I've never been so
Pretty sure
uncomfortable
social media
in
is
my
gonna know
life.
more about meeting
Good
family.
church girl, because she'll be innocent too, just like
I
him.
need a church
Bruh.
girl to go to church and read her
He seems like the type of guy
Bible.
to just move out into a ranch and just live the ranch life. He seems like that type of guy.
He's too weak for ranch life.
Yeah,
He
he's a
can't
little
live in a
twig.
grocery
He needs to get
bag.
hard work beaten into him by ranch life. Go to a ranch. You should go
He's
to a
going
ranch
for a
now.
white collar job.
Go to Ram Ranch.
No.
Do you
But,
want
like-
the small update?
Yes.
Yeah.
Before I make fun of this man.
But we didn't say whether or not we thought they were the asshole for what they did.
I'll be
I mean, I
honest, I
kinda
don't
did,
think
but no
they're
one
that
else-
an asshole.
Yeah, no.
I think
It's
he
not.
had
To
it
be
coming
fair,
and
the
opened the
way-
door.
The way he said it was a little harsh, but at the same time, sometimes you need the harshness.
Yeah.
Man, if you're my friend, I need that harshness. Don't just be prissy and like dance around the subject around me. Like, give it to me straight because that's what actual friends do. And I think that was friend behavior right there. And then
Well,
not
and,
taking
like-
their shit and cutting off communication is also very mature on their part.
Oh yeah, and I mean, dude had an ego. The fact that he was like, "Why can't girls see that I'm successful and have money?" That's what. If you think that
He
all
doesn't even
women
have
just
money
want
yet.
that, like, you got a wrong perspective. Because I can promise you, 90% of girls don't even care if a guy has a job, and that's the standard's already really low.
I mean, back in the day, yeah. I mean, and there's still a lot of girls that do go for guys with money, but like a lot of us have our own careers and stuff now. Like, we don't need somebody to have a ton of money. Like, I'm an engineer and I own my own house, and I don't need some dude to make a ton of money and moosh off him. Like, there's a lot of girls like that nowadays, so it's a little harder, I guess.
Oh yeah, and like he has a warped
Yeah.
perspective if he thinks that that's how he's gonna get a girl. Is can't she see my worth? Like that's the equivalent of saying like I'm the alpha. Other girls just don't understand me. Like bro, Andrew Tate's not for you.
No, jeez.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this was June 21st, so 3 days later.
Oh god.
I just wanted to say that I got in contact with Nathan and apologized to him for being too harsh towards him. I tried explaining to him that even though I was harsh, I was just frustrated and trying to help him since I figured he needed someone to be blunt with him. But it wasn't my intention to hurt his feelings or anything. I made sure to express that I do care about him as a person and I just wanted to guide him since he seemed lost in the world of dating. He didn't really accept my apology. He told me that I'm on the path to being a broke loser bum because I am in a different field than him, and he has decided that everything I told him was just out of jealousy, and that he thinks I quote, he is owed the highest form of respect for being a good man who is a future legal representative. And since I wasn't giving him that we should stop being friends. He also attempted to tell me that I should watch out for disrespecting him because in the future my life will be in his hands and he will have the power to put me in jail. I assured
no.
him that jealousy and the highest form of respect definitely wasn't the case, but if that's how he feels, then so be it. At least I know I tried and did my part. So yeah, after all that after all that, I've accepted that our friendship is over, and I'm not sure where he's going to land in the future, whether in regards to romantic relationships or his actual career. I also was the only friend he had, so I do wish him the best and hope life doesn't humble him to the point of no return. I don't think he's a bad person, just out of touch with reality, and I hope that doesn't backfire on him too harshly.
It's gonna backfire.
And that's it.
I'm gonna
It's
laugh
gonna
when he
backfire.
fails the bar at least once. He can pass it when he retakes it, but at least humble him.
Dude,
Here's the
him.
thing, and I am slowly agreeing more with the dork behavior because that's dork behavior. Why the fuck are you
That's
talking
dork
like that?
behavior. I'm sorry, but sitting there and be like, careful, because in the future, I can put you in jail. That sounds like the shit we hear in this game in like a public lobby of, do you know who I am? I am the moderator of this group, and I can crash your computer. Like, Okay.
I mean, you're not wrong.
No
So
weird
many people
behavior.
on here.
You have no
I can-
personality, so you replaced it with your dedication to becoming a lawyer, and that's become your entire fucking point. It's the only point of confidence that you actually have.
It's his only redeeming personality. And it's like, oh, he's relying on it so hard that it's not even redeeming at this point. You've just made it a pick-me personality. My guy, nobody cares if you're a lawyer or not, because also, I mean, once you start out, you're going to be a no-name lawyer. Your competition is now going to be top dog lawyers who have had these massive fucking cases that have broken headlines, and whether or not they did good jobs. Like, you have to build a clientele. But also, how are you studying to be a lawyer and saying, I can put you in jail? How did you pass? Because a lawyer would know that that doesn't work that way.
Well, he's still in school. He didn't even pass yet.
Well, I don't
So-
have hopes for him now.
There's no
Probably
reason
'cause
to
he-
become
he
just state
thinks-
assigned for people to
He
can't afford
probably-
a lawyer.
Yeah, he probably thinks
gonna have
OP's
so much fun
gonna
with those
do
big
some
parking
heinous
tickets, like,
shit
stuff.
when, like, after college, and he thinks, "Oh, I'm gonna see you later in life." And guess what? I'm gonna be your lawyer, and I'm gonna put your ass in jail.
Oh, reality's gonna hurt when it hits this kid. Reality's gonna suck. But you know, you can't live in
Just
Delulu land
like you said,
forever.
he's gonna fail the bar a couple of times, and that's either gonna break him or make him.
It's gonna break
I just want him to fail once. Like, then he just gets humbled.
I feel like
A
we're
little bit.
reaching like villain era saga where he's not gonna ever be humbled. Bad things are gonna happen because of his like choices, and instead of being like, "Oh, the consequences of my actions. Maybe we should take this and do better." I think he's gonna go, "Oh, I should take this." And
But all I'm saying
this is
some dude
everybody
got
else's
rejected
fault.
from art school 3 times, and we all know what happened after that.
So
Oh,
this
my
is why
lord.
when you homeschool, you need to get him in as many like sports or like other things where they're dealing with other kids as much as possible. Like my aunt
He
homeschooled
needs
for a
to
while,
socialize.
and those kids were in like every sport you possibly could do, doing instruments, everything, so they could force interactions with other kids. Because if you're in
I'm-
homeschool, you
Therapy,
need
you have to.
something.
He came out normal.
Yeah, but
I don't
Rosie's
know how.
Rosie.
That's fair.
Rosie's just him.
Is he an only child?
Yep.
Oh, well then that's really surprising. Homeschooled and only child? That's a double whammy normally.
I feel like sometimes he's more
To be
social than I
fair,
am.
He did. To be fair, he did play this game for a while, and none of us are normal when we play this game.
Oh no.
I mean, it is still a social platforming game. Like all aside from like all the chaos and drama and whatever and fucking all the bullshit. Like, I
I
think
have
this
a
platform
toaster
has
in my
helped a
head, and I'm
lot.
talking to myself in an empty room with a camera on.
I mean, to
looking
be
at me,
fair,
just sitting here.
it's helped us a lot though in terms of like socializing. Now, granted, some people have taken it too far because like things we do and say in this game obviously would not correlate to real life because it's fucking weird. Like the bit that me and her have that does not leave this game because then it'd be really fucking weird. But
Which
like
bit?
this bit,
Oh, this bit.
somebody's
Hi,
calling the
Dad.
It's
cops.
just an excuse to touch titties.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dad.
Okay, it did help
But,
her
like-
read earlier. It did work.
Exactly. It's
At the
it's
same
literally the
time-
stress ball.
This game has at least helped, like, I used to be a horrid public speaker, did not like getting in front of people, did not like talking. You can't get me to shut the fuck up now, can you? I'm a certified yapper. I don't give a fuck who it is. I'm gonna talk your ear off if you let me.
See, this
It's giving
good
me
and
a
bad,
strange
but you have to find a
confidence.
good balance in this
I got
game
told that,
because
actually.
there's too many people that were like semi-normal, and then they started this game and they went off the deep end. So, oh,
See,
pants,
my first
pants,
experience being
pants.
blackout drunk was on this game, so I guess that's the story of my life.
I still can't like. like without this on, I still can't stand in front of people and talk. It makes me nervous.
I can
But
now.
like, I can stand in front of a camera and just be like, "Fuck y'all."
Oh my god.
But like,
Yeah, I'm still pretty shy even in this game, but like, I don't know.
I don't know. The way I see it too is like I'm gonna call out Papa in this moment. You're my best
dear.
frame of reference. Well, because like take when we first like hung out, and you didn't really say
yeah.
a whole lot. You kept to yourself, and then from being in here more often, and then like obviously in Discord and getting to know each other more, you have absolutely no qualms being like, no, fuck you, that was rude, and we're like, all right, pop off. You'll
When
just
did this
state your
happen?
piece.
Hold on. What this happened?
Well, because I remember you used to be like super quiet and you barely talked around us, and then after
Oh,
a
yeah.
while, it's like you opened up, and now you have no problem like putting yourself in the conversation whenever you can, and like actually interacting with us and stating your piece because we like having you around. God damn it,
Plug.
plug.
See,
Oh,
I
my
think it
lord.
was a catalyst moment. It was a catalyst moment where we had something in common to share and talk about. And that sparked it, because when I first got into the group, honestly, I was kind of like the friend of the friend. I was just kind of there. It's like whenever you're the friend of the friend going into a group that they've known for a while, and you just got at it. It's like, hey, this is, by the way, Papa. It's like, hi, hello, I don't know any of you. What's happening?
Yeah,
It was kind
being
of
the friend of a
intimidating at
friend is
first, 'cause it was
scary.
completely different from what I was used to. Like, it was a very different vibe, and I was like, okay, I don't really know how to interact here, so I just kind of waited and waited until I slowly got accustomed to y'all, and that's when I started adding myself into conversation. That's where I got the confidence to say, hey, I'm not hated, and these people are pretty cool.
And then you got drunk around us and you gave us speeches on how you loved us so much.
I still do that.
See, like I've been so like out of the group for a while that like I don't really know anyone, so now I'm like the friend of the friend coming back in because there's so many new people.
There is, but it's okay because we all love you, so it's fine.
I mean, it's kind of like it's a similar experience with how I was when you first invited Mason and I to the server and stuff. Granted, the way in her and I clicked was a little stupid.
A little.
A
lot
of
of.
stupid. A lot of stupid. Because we met through another, like a different group, and we didn't. I think we just said hi.
Yeah, we
to
didn't
each other.
interact. It was a bunch of people, and so it's like I was hanging out with who I knew the best. She was hanging out with who she knew the best, and they were like, "Oh, hey, Pum Squishy Squishy Pum," and we were like, "Hi."
Hi.
Didn't
No
fucking say a word.
interaction after that. Next day, we yapped for like 6 hours.
Yeah, that's how it happens. That's kind of how I started interacting with my best friends.
But like pretty much, if you look back at any of our conversations, it takes you at least an hour to get through a quarter of them.
I need to figure out what our first message was to each other. Genuinely, like I'm curious, what started it? Because I don't know if it was like, did we send a TikTok? Was it an audio? Was it a music video? Like
You messaged me about something, and I think it was from the night before.
See, I'm pretty sure you can search up on the actual DM by relevance or age.
Hold on.
Might have to fact check me on that one.
you can.
on,
We will have to
might
find
be
out what
able
the
to,
first message
yeah.
was. But
I'm
I will
looking.
say,
Mine and Pums were just tattoos. We were just on a call and we just sent each other our tattoos.
that's how me
That's
and you
how we
clicked
became
though,
friends.
because like
Then
it was from the
bats, cute
dancing
bats.
scene, and then we were talking about like
Yeah.
interests, and the second tattoos were brought up. I was like, "Fucking show me right now. I
Yeah,
need to
we were
see."
best friends immediately. Tattoos, and then you have like the bat tattoo, and I love the bat.
Yeah, that's
So
pretty
cute. Yeah.
Well, because I want to say when we
Okay, yeah,
first
so
hung out, you were recovering from that writing accident.
Oh yeah, my horse flipped on me and the horn on the saddle like stabbed through the muscle in my leg. I still have a lump on my leg.
Dude, that
And now
bruise
that
was
I'm losing weight,
gnarly.
it's becoming yeah. Well, like I almost got blood poisoning, which I didn't know was a thing until I got that. But yeah, no, like I still have a lump, and as I'm losing weight, it's becoming more noticeable. And I'm kind of worried if I lose too much weight, I'm just gonna have this weird like lump on my leg.
Oh my god. I'm sure there's a way to fix it.
I don't like horns on saddles. I'm gonna stick with English riding forever.
That's
Our
fair.
first messages were about D&D.
Sounds
That's what our first messages were.
Are you
It
serious?
was you were explaining stuff about your character. It was when we were doing I think it was when we were doing like D&D with Dark and Glitch,
Oh, we did like an
everyone.
impromptu session because everybody wanted to try it.
and you. No, it was when we did our first online one when Rosie was DM when we did it on Roll20.
Holy shit.
It was April 1st.
On April Fool's is when we became best friends.
Yeah.
That's
Oh my god, the joke never ended.
Your lore, my character lore, and then literally 2 days later, I sent you a video that I had recorded and edited, and it says a sneaky peeky for the pookie wifey, and all you said was yes, and then you sent me hair stuff.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty goated friendship.
Yeah, because that's around the time
but it looks
that
like
was
fun.
It's
that
so
was
fun.
around the time I got sick. That was around the time I got sick.
Oh my god, yeah, you were
I feel
fucking down for the
sick.
count for weeks.
I was down for the count for a month and a half.
Ooh.
And then we started talking about our family possibly being related.
That's what really kicked off our friendship was the fact that we learned that we lived in the same state, and I was like, we might be related because we know how small it is. Let's make some phone calls.
Look, man, all I'm saying is Genghis Khan really worked hard.
That's true.
You know what?
I
You know
can't
what
go
else
to,
worked
like,
really hard?
West Virginia. I can't go to that state. I'm probably related to half the state.
It's
So I'm just gonna stay away from there.
Huh?
I can tell it's transition time.
Oh my god. Listen, at least I can say this third story has like no relation to anything that we've been talking about, and it's just really funny.
Oh boy.
Oh, this is the funny one, ain't it?
This is the funny one. Oh, I find it really fucking funny. So this comes from
That's
Am
the
I
one that you found for
Overreacting?
him?
Yup. 9 months ago. So as my little intro to this, we're all homies here, you know? And there's a little key phrase called homosexual. When do you think homosexual is too far? What would break that boundary to where it's like, okay, that's a little much?
Ass play.
Weird line, but you know what? Fuck it. So, from Am I Overreacting, 9 months ago, am I, 25 female, overreacting? I think my 33 male boyfriend is lying to me and is gay with his best friend. We are set to get married soon.
Wait, hold on. Time out. Repeat.
I think my boyfriend is lying to me and is gay with his best friend. We are set to get married soon.
Sounds like a similar situation.
What am I
So,
missing?
we've been together for 3 years. This is a weird lead up. We've been together for 3 years. We have great sex. He tells me he loves me. He wants kids. He tells me it's just a joke and that they do this because it's funny. His best friend, we'll call him Tyler for the sake of this post, and him talk sexual to each other all the time. I've seen over his shoulder texts saying things like, "I'm a pound your ass so hard it's gonna hurt to walk days after." And I've seen photos, both of them, sending pictures of their dicks. I was snooping last night. I know. I shouldn't do that.
Hold on.
But
Okay, I think that's a line.
Were there at least ratings?
I'm sounding there. That's
Ratings?
fine. That's normal.
Were they giving constructive criticisms?
I knew this post was gonna be the one to break it.
If there's ratings and there's constructive criticism, then it's homie. But if it's just straight dick pics, if it's just straight dick pics, you're fucked. What are you doing? You're not helping yourself. You're
Oh
cooked.
my god.
What do you mean?
So Tyler sent
Hey,
my
by the way, thinking of you
fiance.
this morning.
Oh my
What? What?
All right, motherfuckers. All right. Tyler sent my fiance
Sure,
a photo
and then just block them.
of his boner a couple days ago, and my fiance said, "Nice dick, bro," and things like, "Too bad I'm not gay, or I'd suck that hog." Like, it almost seems like they are joking, but sending actual pictures of their dicks, like multiple times, both of them hard. Talking like this pretty regularly. Am I overreacting? Please help. We are set to get married soon, and I'm worried he's cheating on me with Tyler. Edit. I don't have a problem with him being gay. I have a problem with him cheating on me. There is a very minuscule update, but that is the prime of the post. It's two dudes
Oh my
sending
So look, man,
pics.
omit the dick pics. It's homie.
Yeah.
Omit the dick pics.
without
It's
the
homie. But the,
yeah.
I just
But,
need
like,
to
my
know. We're
boyfriend's
rating.
very homosexual, so like I hear that constantly from him. So like I don't think
Was
that's
there a
bad.
review?
But the dick pics.
Was there a review?
No, he just
No, they
said,
just said
"Nice
that they
dick,
were gonna
bro. If I
suck
was
it if
gay,
he
I'd
was
suck
gay."
it."
They just straight up send the pictures. There's no review. It's like,
And they're
hey,
hard.
like you're curving a little bit too much. Like you need to stop.
You're curving a little
Can
too
you
much.
even control that? I don't think guys can control the curve.
I don't need to get into nitty gritty of what. How that
I don't want
works.
to know. I don't want to know.
Give us the update, please. I can't.
Oh my head. Oh god.
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh Jesus.
So the very tiny update is I'm gonna play it cool for a couple days. Just keep an eye on the behavior. Tyler is coming over to hang out this coming Tuesday afternoon. I might say something to gauge their reactions. Not sure what yet, but something to see if they look at each other weird or something. I don't know. I'll update later when I know my plan. I hope this all turns out to be some big joke between them.
It probably is, honestly.
Yeah.
Some men just get
It's
that
just a
close. It's like
Overly
honestly, compared-
comfortable homosexual.
It's just like how y'all would just send titty pics. Just imagine that, but
I
on the
mean,
backside.
Yeah, to an extent, yeah, because like I know like girls that do that shit. I'm not friends with girls that do that, but like one of my friends, she has a friend that's a girl, and that chick literally would send like her like sex tapes and like ask her to rate them. So like it's just some people are that close. It's
They're
weird.
simply just
I don't get it.
weirdos.
That's not me. But like it sounds like it's still jokes. Even when they're sending those pictures, they're joking about it.
Because here's the thing, the pictures is what
So,
sent me
like-
off the rails. Because I can imagine myself looking at one of my homies and just being like, "Nice cock, bro," and just moving on.
Yeah, it's weird that they're sending them to each other. But like at the same time, some people are just that close. Like I know chicks that like will literally just send pictures and be like, "Does that look okay down there?" Not to me. I would never want those, but I know chicks that do send that to like their friends that they're close to. So
I think like the main time
The
I've had
guys
like a
might-
friend send me like more like private photos. It's never typically like, "Oh hey bitch, look, this looks great today." It's normally like, "Hey, do you see the lump or am I hallucinating?" Like it's typically like medical where they're like, "Am I okay?"
it really just depends on the people. Because like I knew a girl that was like a part of a sorority, and she would tell me about her sorority sisters would send her like sexy pictures to see if like she thought they looked good before they sent them to dudes. So like,
See, yeah, I've heard of that too.
it's just yeah, so it just depends on like their friendship, but like the fact that they're just making jokes about it and they're not actually like they're sending the dick pic and then making a joke, Like, and it's
See, he just
worded
needed to
like a
lift me up.
joke.
He needed to pick me up. The girl just trashed his penis.
Yeah, it's just a really weird bromance, but I think it's still just a bromance.
It's definitely
It's
like the
pretty much. Isn't it
weirdness of them
embarrassed?
both being hard is like really weird to me because that I understand like with men like they can just
Maybe they ran
happen to
out of girls
happen,
send
you
them
know?
to, you know? You gotta
But,
send it to the
like-
bro instead.
Typically that's a
Twist,
sign
they're
of
both comparing
arousal.
their jerkmate strategies.
Oh god, I think the only real like
Is the angle good?
Is the angle good? I think the only real like red flag with this entire thing too, like, is just the pictures. Because if you take what they're saying to each other, now granted, I think this also
It's
comes
only-
with like boundaries per relationship. Because like every relationship has a little bit different set of what they find okay and what they find not okay. But I would think most people today would see that like two dudes being like, "Oh, shut up or I'll kiss you," you know, like that. That's just the guys being guys. That's no different than us
Yep.
calling each other wives or pookies or whatever. Like, it doesn't mean I'm, you know, gonna go full on like gay mode. I don't know. Fucking, it's not a light switch. Like, it doesn't work that way.
I've heard you be pretty confessing.
Teehee.
There's points in time where I've heard the exact sentence you just said to probably squishy.
Probably.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I get upset if
So
she
tell
sits
me.
too far away from me.
Now, here's the question I need. On the dick pics, did they have socks on?
It's not listed.
See, I feel like, but yeah, I think it is homie. I think she needs to talk to him, especially before marriage, about those boundaries and stuff. And then if he still does that stuff past when she lays out her boundaries, if those photos are too much for her and he still does them, then that's a clear sign of an issue.
Oh yeah. Because then, like, how
But
she's
if
referring
she-
to it is, she's referring to it as, like, you're essentially, like, even if it is as a joke, you're sending a private part of yourself to someone that isn't your future wife, so that would ergo be seen as cheating upon, like, most parties.
Yeah, I think she just needs to talk to him and have open communication. I don't think, from the sounds of it, that they're actually doing anything with each other or cheating in like what they believe to be cheating, because I think it's just a really weird bromance. But if she can lay out those lines and have that communication, as long as he listens to that, then I think it's fine. If he keeps doing it, then I would consider it cheating.
Look, man, those high school bromances that last until your late adult stages.
No,
Are
because
just
here's the
different.
thing. I vividly remember back in high school, the guys would all talk about the fact that they were just like, they'd all seen each other's dicks at one point or another. And I don't mean like in the locker room. Like at some point they were like, click, click, guys, look. Is this just like a
It's a
normal thing
penis.
for men at some point? Is you guys like show off?
I mean,
babe.
when I was in school, I remember like
said
all
no.
the dudes would get the volleyballs and like rub it on their dick and then chuck it at people. So I never
See, I
wanted to
think
touch a
in those
volleyball
early
in the
stages-
school again. So
In those
like,
early stages, it might very well just be like sexual curiosity getting the better of them. Because it's at a point where I'm gonna be real, the hormones are like going fucking ballistic.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know,
So
like,
so that might just be a y'all thing. I'm gonna be real, because I ain't never hear about that. If I joined up with a bunch of homies and said, "Hey, tradition, you gotta show us your dick," what?
yeah, I think I'd
Huh?
leave.
Yeah, I'd be like, "Yeah, no." So
That'd be like no different than me walking into a room and just being like, so you guys want to see my tits? Like, what? Actually,
I don't know.
hold on.
There's
I
people
retort
do
that
it with and there's
statement.
people not.
I know somebody who's like that, and that'll be a story for after the podcast.
Oh boy.
oh jeez.
I was
But
there
I
that
think
day.
it's just homies being a little too past, too homies, too much homies.
The homies are homieing a little too close to the rainbow.
Yeah, I think they just need to communicate, get those boundaries
he's
in
been a
place,
homie for
especially
longer
before
than she's been a
marriage,
girlfriend.
and then see.
You know,
When
she's
you're getting
traumatized.
married- yeah, but when you're getting married, that's your partner, and no one should come above
Yeah.
that. Not your parents. Not the only one who should ever come above your partner is your children.
Oh yeah, and I mean, like that comes with the territory because like I know like for me myself, I'm an open book. I genuinely like unless you lay out a boundary for me, dude, I don't give a fuck. I will say whatever, talk about whatever. Like I have almost no care in the world. And I don't mean that as like a naivety thing. I'm just like pretty open with most things that I'm like, fuck yeah, you want to talk about something explicit? Let's talk about explicit things. You want to like, I don't care. But like obviously for him, he has certain boundaries with that it's like I want to respect him more because like I love him at the end of the day. And so it's like if I just have to not be a little extra, you know,
and it's
that's
a learning curve too. Because
Oh,
I'm the same
definitely.
way. I'm overly open, and my boyfriend is a lot more conservative on all of like what he says and what he like lets out. Like he'll make jokes really far, but like any personal stuff, he's more not towards anyone he's not close to knowing. And so like I'm trying to learn to do that too, out of respect for him and like his boundaries, because that's just what you do when you have a partner.
Oh yeah.
See, that's plus 16 pickle talk right there.
Oh god, here we go with the pickles.
I feel bad that OP saw that dude's dick.
Yeah, that's actually unfortunate.
Yeah.
Like, not only did you see your
Like,
husband's
it's not
random
like-
boner, you saw your husband's buddy's boner. I feel like we just can't sit at the table together after that. We can't meet eye to eye.
Yeah, no. I didn't even think about that. No,
Well,
thank
okay,
you.
and maybe that's like a personal thing, because like, okay, I'll teeter this topic very gingerly. Okay, there was an incident, okay, where I was supposed to meet somebody, right? Not like romantically, just like friendly. I'll explain it better later.
Hang out.
Professionalism is what the meeting was supposed to be, right? But I had
Ah.
done some digging on them because they were a influencer of sorts, right? And so I was like, oh, like what kind?
Oh,
And so I looked up the username. They were
this.
just marked as a model, and I was like, oh, okay, like fashion model. And I was seeing a lot of like more kind of spicy photos on the Instagram, and I was like, that's a little weird, right? So I clicked because I know technology. At least I clicked on the link bio, which led to a Twitter. I could not meet that man's eyes.
I don't know what would be on
Oh,
the Twitter,
boy.
but I don't have Twitter or anything.
There's a
I'm
video of him,
I thought they couldn't show
Here?
anything on Twitter like that.
and then there's two guys here.
Oh. Oh.
To know that
The
that
original
existed,
Show that on Twitter. I thought Twitter was like Facebook on like their
because I
terms
figured
of
out what
you're
kind of
allowed to show.
influencer he was, and it's not a model.
I'm sorry, if you
There's
hear
modeling in
jingling,
it.
You're a star.
I couldn't meet his eyes after that. And like, he was really nice, don't get me wrong, but the second it clicked in my head who that was, I was like, oh, I
I'm
can't look at
sorry
you.
if you hear. Well,
My
like, that
tracking
happens
also
even,
didn't
like-
wanna
So
look.
flabbergasted, your entire body decided to just.
Bro, I just
to the
launch it.
pretzel.
I feel like that's kind of a thing even in VR. Like when you meet somebody in VR and you find out that they do that stuff for like money, and it's just like you kind of just like, okay, and it's just hard to like look at them the same. Like I get it's
Look,
VR,
what you
but
got
to an
going.
extent, like that's still like.
I think
don't know.
for VR standards, it's those who make it their personality. Like, if we can sit and we can
Well,
chat and we
they're
can
doing
chill,
it for
awesome.
money. That's when I think like it's one thing if you're like a dancer and you get tips or whatever, and it's at like a club. It's another thing when you're doing what would be illegal IRL in here for money. That's when it's like a little much for me.
That's fair. I think that also depends, like, where you're from, though, because the state that I grew up in, that shit's legal.
I thought that was illegal throughout all the U.S.
Nope, we have brothels.
See, I got approached
I
in
didn't
VR in a
know.
midnight rooftop by a retired Japanese porn actress who was trying to drag me into a room for me to pay to have ERP. Some people are just far gone in this
So
game.
how much did it
I'm pretty
cost?
sure this is just a different type of beer. I don't know. She was asking in yen,
Well, yeah, and you
and I
just
forgot.
move the decimal place over too, and you're.
I don't
gotta
know.
close
It's probably
that.
like $20 or some shit.
$20 is $20.
It's just.
I'm sorry if you hear jingling. Mink walked up to me and brought his toy to me and batted at my arm.
Aw.
So I'm playing with him as much as I can with the toaster on.
Well, do
But
you
he
want
does not
to
seem
read us your final story of the night?
yes, because my trackers are also gonna die.
That's fair. I just heard you fucking yeet the toy.
It's a jingle toy. What kind of animal is it? It's a cat.
Oh, nice.
We got 2 cats and a dog.
I have 3 dogs, 2 horses, 4 snakes in my house. There's too many animals.
The snake
I
is
lost all the
really
dogs
pretty.
upstairs. Yeah, that's the
Okay.
newest one. I named him Pippin from Lord of the Rings.
I love him.
So this is a r/petty revenge story.
Oh.
Nice.
It was posted 14 hours ago.
What's up with you guys and the new ones, man?
That's awesome.
That's mainly
We've been
her.
getting new ones recently. So this is when I got 20 people fired because they tried to fire me.
Peak.
Oh, this one's juicy. I can tell.
Well, you'll be able to tell it more in a second because the first sentence is my accidental revenge that I didn't plan, but I'll be damned if you back me into a corner.
Peak. That sounds like some malicious
Wait, when did this
compliance.
come out again?
What?
When did this come out again?
14 hours ago.
Oh, okay. Because I heard one similar to this before.
Because so it's a long time span, but they posted it 14 hours ago.
Oh, okay.
So it goes on for a couple of years, but the final result came out in a couple of days. Yeah. So it starts with a few years ago, I was working at a popular petrol station on a popular freeway. Unfortunately, one afternoon, I had a freak accident reaching for my drink bottle. My core was obviously still developing, and I slipped a disc between my L5 and S1. Side note, it was beyond anything I had ever experienced. My mother dressing me as a grown adult, heavily relying on opioids, and as if I even so much as cough, my legs would crumble. Many months of physical therapy, etc., and I was approved to return for minimal hours. I understand it was a freak accident, and not at one point did I blame it on the company, but it happened at work, which probably saved me years of spinal surgeries. Carrying on. One day back at work during a 4-hour shift, I had a sore throat that day. Normally, we were allowed to grab a coffee once a shift. I asked the 2-1C, let's call him Clifford. I don't know what the fuck that is. I'm guessing the manager. If it was possible to have a cup of a slushie instead because of my sore throat. Clifford responded, yeah, that's cool, just put it in a coffee cup, which I did, following his guidance. Side note, I was sued. Next morning, at approximately 7 a.m., I wrote an official email I awoke to an official email.
Yeah, the technique.
For a second, I thought she was
an
reacting to the
official
cat on the
email.
keyboard. I didn't even process what that was.
I woke up
Like
to
when
an
your kid
official
leaves.
email from this company stating I had been suspended without pay due to a serious breach of conduct. Obviously, I'm baffled and pretty upset. I'm aware that I'm back on reduced hours, being watched, etc., etc. And I reply, and we set up a meeting in person 2 days later. Attending, me, my support person, and the 2-1C, the store manager, and 2 people from HR, which I'm sure they had to make a gigantic drive for. We sit down in an adjacent building, still baffled. The store manager, hi, so we've called you here today for an offense that we can terminate you immediately. To be honest, at this point, I was absolutely shitting myself. What have I done? It's like when you go through an airport, go through airport customs, and you're wondering if that kilo of cocaine was accidentally left in your carry-on. I asked them to elaborate. They begin with a very patronizing question, which was the first red flag. Do you understand the definition of stealing? Me, still baffled. I would like to think so. The store manager begins. Backstory to set the scene: he was 5 foot, 50 years old, very flamboyant, little gay. Monday, you drank a
Right.
slushie out of a coffee cup, and that is a breach considered stealing. At this point, I was relieved because the 2-1C was in the meeting, and I reacted like, "Oh, this is all a misunderstanding." As Clifford, before I touched anything, I thought it was a same, but double checked and got permission. This motherfucker, Clifford, looked at me directly in the eyeballs across the table and says, "That never happened?" The silence was palpable. My jaw was in my lap, my eyes darting back and forth, thinking there's no way I'm being set up. 170 scenarios ran through my head: confusion, shock, anger, and then acceptance. My back was fucked, and I was trying my best to recover, and now being accused of ripping petrol station off by like 3 cents was worth of a slushie so managers could get a bonus for getting rid of me. This is my favorite part. Everything melted away. The anger, the unjust, everything. I let out a big sigh and started smiling. I looked directly at the store manager. Unfortunately for him, underestimated my observation skills. Week prior, mind you, there was plenty of other offenses. I saw him purposefully knock a packet of Oreos off the shelf following an "oops, I guess I'll have to write that off my morning tea" meeting. Anytime at the time, I didn't even think about it. I don't care. Yes, you do. But now? I said, "All right, but I am confused. Let me clarify something." I stared down the store manager, laid out what had happened, and asked him in HR if that would be considered stealing. Without breaking eye contact, I witnessed his soul leave his body. I sensed HR do a slow pause and turn. I quickly moved on. I was taking everyone down with me. Next was Clifford, who I also had nothing against, but here we are. He was freshly married, 2-year-old and a baby on the way. He was also fucking another cashier. Let's call her Trina. In the bathrooms during work. Again, I minded my own damn business, even though I thought he was a piece of shit.
Bald.
Why did you go bald?
Bald.
I lost my hair from stress.
Dang.
I looked at him, then the manager, then HR, and asked if Clifford was a reliable source of information, seeing as he's having sex in the bathroom, cheating on his wife, etc. Another one down. By this point, HR are gonna need a debrief. Then I threw in that half of the staff was smoking weed on their break. No hate, but it was more to throw shade that the manager is useless. While I was at it, I truly only liked 2 people that worked there. From a very busy 24-hour store, I went on for the next 30 minutes about every single breach I had seen in the last week and let them know I could definitely help them out with more information. The meeting ended abruptly. 3 days later, I was still offended, but had gathered myself and thought, fuck them, I'm young, I'll move on. HR called me and asked me to come in, and I had absolutely prepared myself to be fired. I was already mentally checked out, recognizing there's no way I could go back and play nice with people that threw me under the bus. I sit down with HR. They are groveling. There's probably some sort of court case I could have followed, but then again, I was young and I'm ready to burn that bridge. They offered me Clifford's old job. Oh? What happened to Clifford? They tell me that he and Trina have quit because Clifford's wife was trying to pull her through the safety barrier every time she went on shift. Also, they fired 18 people for breaches after going through a lot of footage. This indulged staff eating expired food, etc. I asked them to give me some time to think about it. I walked back over to the main store. There's my manager in tears, packing up his stuff in the office into a cardboard box like some sort of movie scene. I couldn't help myself. I had a spring in my step. I asked him why would he be crying? What's wrong? He told me through tears he was going on leave, blah blah blah. I quit 3 days later and went to another country on a credit card. Best 2 weeks of my life.
Dude, fuck yeah.
That ending is legendary.
rip credit card debt, but fuck it, you know?
Look, man, he just got offered a manager's job and then quit it 3 days later because he's standing on business. That's what you like to see. She?
To be
She-
fair,
Even better.
to be fair, they should have taken the manager, worked it a few months, and then moved on to a different company as a management. Because once you work in it a little bit, then you can say you have that experience. Then it helps with your resume.
That's
Putting after
fair.
3 days. I'm just thinking logistically.
Oh, yeah.
Career wise.
But I mean, at the same
to
time,
work it a little while and then say screw you and take off.
I would say
Like,
too,
still
though,
do that, but get
depending
the
on whoever's
experience.
left from there, they would not accept OP as a manager. You know, like how much there would still be backlash or retaliation of some sort of anybody like that's left over.
Yeah, but if you can handle that for like a couple months, then you can still ditch out to another company and be like, hey, I've been management for this long. Like I have some of the experience, as opposed to not having any of the experience. Then it's hard to get into another management position somewhere else.
That's fair.
Suffer for a couple months
You'll
and
be
then move
okay.
on, ditch out, and get better opportunities.
These bitches turn off at 15.
Oh, yeah, we're just about done with it anyway. I don't know, man. I'm just
Okay, we'll just see you turn into a pretzel. It'll be cute.
cute pretzel. Make
One
all
of our
other
tractors,
pretzel
like-
go.
I just got the notification that one of them. Yep, nope, there it goes.
There it goes. Yep, there
There it goes. It's gone.
But like, nah. I think out of all posts tonight, this one had like the best outcome. Because I
Yeah.
hate jobs that
Yeah.
do some backward shit like that. Because I've had jobs do that to me. Like, so when I got diagnosed with lupus, I took a doctor's note to my boss and was like, hey, like, I need extra water breaks or extra shade because I will fucking pass out. And there was a day that this motherfucker, he was creepy boss. And when I say creepy boss, I mean he had a habit of posting up somewhere with binoculars and watching us work to make sure we were working. That is how much
That's
micromanagement went on.
weird.
Yeah, we figured out his hiding spot. He watched me actively pass the fuck out. Like, was working out on my own, stood up, ka-clunk, laid there for a minute, got up, went to my work truck and grabbed a bottle of water, and just sat there drinking water. Not on my phone, nothing. Fucking just drinking water in an air-conditioned truck. And he pulled up 2 seconds later. You're not working. I should fire you. And I was like, I literally just, like, fainted, and I think I have to throw up. So, I don't know what you want from me right now. And he was like, I think I should fire you. I took that shit to the union, and I went the fuck home. They paid me for that day.
Nice.
Dude, so many jobs are just like screwed up when they do that stuff. Like I got hurt at work, and my job for like, because I don't know if you know, like the 1-inch ID air hose, like high pressure air hoses.
Mm-hmm.
It popped off the fitting and whacked me upside the head. My helmet, like my hard hat, went flying one way. My earbud went flying the other way. Like I lost hearing in my ear for like 2 days, and they were like trying to talk me out of going to the doctor for like 2 hours because they already had too many head injuries in the last few years, and if they got one more, it would have like raised their insurance rates. And I'm like, I'll just go
Fucking
to the
bad.
doctors myself. And then they got mad because like the doctors are obviously gonna ask like how you got it, and if I didn't go to their like doctor's thing through them, then they could have gotten in trouble that way too. So they finally let me go to the doctors, but they were trying to
Jesus
talk me out of it for
Christ.
so long.
Evil and greedy.
Yeah, dude. Like,
Dude, they focus so much
companies are
on
just
money
messed up.
instead of like the people that bring them said money. So they treat the people like shit, and
Like-
it's like,
Well,
That's
like,
really
and then
like
it was
my
weird
last
when I
job.
left that job. When I left that job, like I noticed that whenever someone said like gave their 2 weeks, they immediately just fired them, so they didn't get their 2 weeks. So I went and like I made sure like I signed for my house, my everything. I had job offer, everything was good. Then I put in my 2 weeks, and they got mad at me for not warning them sooner than 2 weeks.
Bruh.
like because like I knew that I was gonna be moving like an hour away and all this shit. And they're like, well, you could have warned us. We could have been looking for another person to replace you like all this time. And they're like, this job takes so long to train. And like they were just mad that I used them to get my house because I had to be employed to get a house loan. So they just felt used and abused and all that. And then the next day they told me like to go home and that I wasn't getting my 2 weeks. And I could have fought it because you can do unemployment for 2 weeks. If you give them 2 weeks, you can like sign up for unemployment. But my brother worked there and I didn't want him to get in trouble.
I mean, even if
And
they
them to, like,
fire
take it
you,
out on
you can.
him.
No, wait, no. Firing is the one time you can't sign for unemployment.
Well,
I'll say.
if they, yeah, but they wouldn't be firing me for any other reason. It would have been considered a layoff because I didn't do anything wrong. So it's considered a layoff at that point. And if they lay you off, you can get unemployment. So I could have fought to get 2 weeks of unemployment, but my brother worked there and I didn't want to deal with that. So I just left.
Honestly, I
I
consider
got
the
2
2 week
extra weeks
notice
to
to be a
move, so
fucking courtesy at this point.
It really
Why?
is.
Why? Why do I have to give you 2 weeks? I'm not legally required to do it. I can get a bunch of benefits from doing so, as you just described. But why should I? Why feel offended about that?
yeah.
Because you say it takes so long to train, then that's too damn bad. Then train.
Well,
Oh,
it's like a
dude.
2
Make it
year
snappy.
training period. It's an engineering job, like 2 years training period. Like I'm like, even if you got like a couple more weeks, like it wasn't gonna make that much of a difference. The only difference would have been you would have been able to like go to some college career fairs to maybe get a college student.
Well, and like, I think jobs severely underestimate how much of like a 2 week grace period really is. It is not a law, right? Like, it's not a rule set. It is something that we do out of like a courtesy of respect of like, here, you have a time frame to get somebody new and train them to replace me. And I think jobs forget that we don't have to do that. Because like, one of the jobs that I worked when I was working as like a correctional coach for like a juvie, I quit outright. I could not fucking do it anymore. Everything about it was shit. Like, the kids were unsafe. I was unsafe. Everything about that job sucked. My mental health was fucking declining. I was working 15-hour night shifts alone. I seriously, I remember this day vividly. And Lucy, if you're still in chat, you should probably remember this day as well. Because I got in a Discord call and I said, we are going to quit my job. And I pulled up, set my uniform on the counter, and I said, I quit. And they were like, oh, can we convince you to not? Because we literally don't have staff. Like, because for me quitting, they didn't have any coverage at all. It's why I worked 15 hours. We were so fucking understaffed. And I was like, no, it's unsafe. I'm out. I fucking put that shit on the counter, left, went home.
Yeah, the only time I ever just outright quit was like I quit the day before I was supposed to work again because I worked for A&W for a week.
They're
And it
both
was
going in and
so
out.
bad. And then I left for a week, which they knew that I was going to for something for college.
God damn it,
And when I
Papa.
was supposed to come back, I quit before.
He went into my
Do
chat.
you have a bot in your chat?
I blocked him.
Every time I go into my chat
Oh,
or anything, my like hip just goes burr and like shoots off to Timbuktu.
Oh, jeez. No,
Oh,
so
God,
I
that's
will
what it
say
looks
this is
like.
probably the best outcome of that story, though, and it's probably the only good outcome I think we've gotten out of like any of our stories, because I think all the ones tonight are either open-ended or really fucking messy.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Maybe don't send your dick to the homies. That might be a little much.
So far, the stories have been.
I just
titties,
want to hear
dicks,
what
and people getting
happens to the
fired.
rest of that story because she said she was gonna like try to make a joke or something and see how they react. Like I really want to know how the rest of that story
I did
went.
scour her profile. Literally, she's like 180'd. First, there's a post saying it's from the fiance, saying that they've had a discussion and that he won't send the dick pics anymore, but that ultimately they were joking. And then there's a third post from her that's recent, stating like everything's tenfold better than it was. Like he's more attentive, he's more caring. Like love bombing almost. Of like, she called him out on this, and now he's like, oh,
anymore.
Basically, shit.
Well, I'm sure he feels kind of
sometimes you
bad
have-
about it because
yeah,
he
you
didn't
have
realize
habitual
because she didn't
behaviors.
communicate that it made her uncomfortable before, and now he probably just feels bad about it, especially with how long they've probably been like acting like that, and he realizes that like he's probably just trying to make her feel better about it.
That's
Which is
fair.
good. Like that's green flags for the dude.
Progress.
Yeah.
We recover. But it's like almost
Still has the
delusionally
shady
happy that
buddy's
I'm
dick,
like,
though.
Yeah, I just wish she would have mentioned stuff sooner instead of just going to Reddit. Like she should have communicated with her partner more.
listen, people going to Reddit
Instead
is
of
why
just
we have a
like-
podcast.
Fair. Always like listening to the crazy like mother-in-law stories and shit too. Those people
Oh,
are
I have a
they're
couple of those
nutso, they're
planned.
nutso. Oh, those are like my favorite.
Well, because with the wedding getting closer, I find like wedding themed stories, and it's always the mother-in-law. So I'm like, fuck it,
Yep.
let's go on the deep end. I got
I've
lucky.
seen
My
crazy
mother-in-law's
sisters,
not
too.
crazy.
The sisters can be crazy too. I've seen quite a few of those.
That is
Or like
fair.
the golden child that
Oh
wants
my
everything
God.
at their partner's wedding or their like sibling's wedding.
Don't even get me
Yeah,
started on that.
I've seen a lot of those. Those ones are pretty good too.
Those ones are juicy shit. But I will say, with that, that brings us to the end of tonight's episode. So I want to thank you guys for coming on and having a homie night with us and hanging out, yapping.
Yeah.
And you guys know the fucking drill. The links will be linked where the links linked. And you can join us on Twitch to be a part of the conversation. And with that, we will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Yeah.